Hey, no error message. I think we are good to go.
Great. Thank you for doing that again.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So today's staff will present the application materials. Applicants will be sworn in and asked to present any additional materials they have. Also, registered speakers will be sworn in and provided 3 minutes each to speak, and commissioners will discuss the case and ask questions if needed. So I'm going to turn it over to Lori.
Okay, and actually I'm going to turn the hearing over to Commissioner Nance so that she can swear in applicants and myself, and also call the roll for the commission.
Great, thank you. Here's how I'd like to do this, because your names aren't really clear on my screen. So all of you who are participating in this meeting as a guest, I would like for you to, we ask you to swear that you are telling the truth. And if you would do so one at a time, just say your response and your name. That will help us keep track. Anybody can start.
Lori Budrow, and I swear to tell the truth.
Jamie Goldstein, I swear to tell the truth.
Emily and Caitlin, I think you need to, and Lisa.
Yes, sure. And I swear to tell the truth.
Emily Tony, I swear to tell the truth.
Lisa, because you'll be testifying as an applicant, could you also swear in?
Lisa McClyman, I swear to tell the truth.
Okay.
Well, is there anyone else who's listening who hopes to speak during this WebEx hearing?
Randall.
Randall is muted. Randall, are you muted? There you are.
Randy Borchager, I swear to tell the truth.
And did we get Jenica?
All right, I'm Jenica Richards, and I swear to tell the truth.
Okay. And that's it. Are we done?
I think so.
Thank you very much.
Okay, and if you could call the roll.
Yes.
Or
Chip
if you want. Okay.
Chip Santer.
Here.
Eliza Ho. Eliza.
Yeah.
Mary Gray.
Here.
Matthew Moore.
Here.
Lisa McClyman.
Here.
And Marine Vanderheyden.
Right here.
Right. I think we got it.
Okay, thank you, everyone.
All right. Thank you very much for attending. And let's get down to business. According to the agenda, we want to announce our next scheduled commission hearing, which is November 18th at 3:30. It's a WebEx hearing, as this one is. And if you need information on how to participate, you can either get it online or with Lori. If you will then, commission, I would like to know that you have read and can approve or amend the hearing summary from September 16th, 2020. Do I have a motion?
I'll move.
I'll second.
Okay. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Then I will ask Lori to announce our applications.
Thank you. This evening, the applications is a little bit different. We have a series of 3 applications. They all fall under the campaign of Delivering Black Dreams, a partnership with Artfluential, Marshall Shorts with Artfluential, Sherry Neal with Maroon Arts Group, the Short North Alliance, and the Greater Columbus Arts Council. The 3 locations One is in the short north near the Greenwood parking lot. The second is at Coleman's Point on the Scioto Mile. And the third is an original mural that will be placed on a retaining wall on a portion of Fifth Avenue in Milo Grogan. Because all of the applications fall under the GCAC program, what we're going to do is I'm going to turn this over to Jamie Goldstein from GCAC to take the lead at walking us through the applications, and she can help Nolan also indicating other individuals who need to come in. The only other thing that I'd like to say is that Lisa McClymont, one of our commissioners, is the artist for the original art project, the mural on Fifth Avenue. And she's been involved through the curatorial team with this project, so she will recuse herself from commissioner discussion and voting on these applications. And with that, Jamie, are you there?
Mute myself. Thank you. I'm going to be very brief and sort of an overview to help everyone understand how these two projects connect. On June 1st, 2020, after the death of George Floyd at the hands of the Minneapolis police and the resulting protests, CAPA and the Greater Columbus Arts Council partnered to launch Art Unites CBUS, which was an initiative to employ Columbus-based visual artists to paint murals on the plywood installed over the broken windows, particularly, at least at first, here at the GCAC offices and at the Ohio Theater. Other businesses, including many through the short north, joined in, and by the end of June, more than 200 murals have been created on plywood throughout the city. These murals range in messages of support for Black Lives Matter, to tributes to George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, to messages of love and hope. An online exhibition was created at artunitescbus.com thanks to CAPA. We've mapped them where they all were originally, and those are still available. We have documented them and taken steps to preserve and store them. We surveyed the community. We were, from the very beginning, we received a lot of input from people who really were moved by the murals and wanted to know that they had a future in our community and what that was going to look like. We felt we needed to take a little bit of time and a breath to try and figure that out. And as we moved into the fall and the city's interest in doing a larger scale sort of citywide commitment to this messaging came about, we felt it would be an appropriate time to bring these back out into the public and into neighborhoods where they might not have been seen before. So that's the Art Unites CBUS murals, the cubes that are going around in 9 different locations, including Easton and up at the MAC in Worthington, as well as the 2 you'll see here today in the short north and Coleman's Point, are the result of that effort and the feedback from the community. 97% of the people, about 250 people that we surveyed, felt very strongly that these needed to be seen around Columbus and get into neighborhoods so people could get up close to them and feel the power of the messaging. So Deliver Black Dreams, Councilmember Shayla Favor reached out to us and wanted to, as many other cities did, do something large scale that demonstrated the city's commitment to the Black Lives Matter movement. We are so fortunate to have the talents of someone like Marshall Shorts, and he offered and brought to the table a concept that he had been creating with some other folks and leading the effort on, called Deliver Black Dreams, which is really an aspirational campaign. It's about the future. What do we need to work towards for racial equity in this community and true social justice? So the big mural that you'll see today is a sort of our flag in the ground, as it were, and we look forward to doing more over the next year and into next fall. I just want to say really quickly to Marshall and to Sherry Neal with Maroon Arts Group, this is the Deliver Black Dreams effort is of, by, and for Black people. It will be led and planned by the Maroon Arts Group and the folks that are hired there. The lead artists will be Black artists with input and support from other artists in the community, young people. We see this as a mentoring opportunity. And Deliver Black Dreams is more than just public art. While we're using public art as a launch point, it is meant to be cross sector. So we hope to help make the connections and have this touch on the healthcare sector, the education sector, the safety sector, civic policy sector, and using public art all along the way to spur conversation and dialogue. That's sort of an overview. Art United CBUS murals, the temporary murals, are sort of coming under this umbrella so that we can have multiple locations where people can learn about Deliver Black Dreams and what that means going forward. We see this as a multi-year campaign, and we're really we're grateful. Again, I have to say thank you to Randy Borntrenger and his staff for helping us work through all of the permutations of possible sites and really helping us home in on the locations that we'll be looking at for these murals as we go forward. That's really all I have to say as an overview. I think maybe I want to, if we can, quickly turn it over to Emily. Do you want to lead us off for the first temporary mural installation?
Sure. So which one do you have first, Nolan? Okay,
The short north one is first.
great. And we may need to throw it to Caitlin for some additional information with the Short North Alliance. So this is the location that the Short North Alliance identified as the ideal spot for this. I think I would venture to say 150 of the temporary mural boards that we have sort of wrapped our arms around came out of the Short North. So it was very important that we partner and that we get, a reiteration of those back up in that neighborhood for that neighborhood and the businesses that supported the artists that created them. So you'll see there the location. And then Nolan, you have a sketch also, right? To see kind of how they're going to be reconstructed. It's a little bit of a Jenga game because as the boards were cut to fit over different sized windows, they are not all still 4x8 pieces of plywood. So Caitlin and the Short North Alliance are committed to sort of making that work, and we'll have signage, I think, on the end, at least one end, if not both, depending on how they can put that together, that will have a QR code directing you back to the website, where we'll have all of the locations for the project listed and as much artist information as we have. So our staff has really spent the summer trying to get permission from the artists who created the work, track down the owners. Do we still have this piece in possession? Who owns it? And we've really done our due diligence in trying to make sure that we are being as respectful to the artists as we can and getting as much permission as we can to get these back out there. So that is what you're looking at there. And is there anything else you want to add about this site, Caitlin?
So I think you did a great job with the overview. So obviously the two long panels will be facing east and west. It's kind of a very similar construction to Summer Spray, except it'll be a full wraparound so that people can walk around the entirety of the setup and view the murals.
Do you want to go to the art now?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we can do that.
So really quickly, thank you to Lisa and Brandon Moss and Sherry Neal and Hakeem Callwood, who helped us curate these boards. They looked at every single one that we have access to and helped us group them by site. This was a black-led curation committee that helped put these options together per site. And we're sorry, this is actually a vertical piece that's on its side. About that.
We know this piece is not 4x8. Caitlin actually probably has a better sense of how big it actually is. We received some initial funding from the AEP Foundation and used that to hire a photographer, Shelly Fisher, who I'm sure you guys are familiar with, to capture all of the boards that we have in storage for future projects, for the web, for stuff like this. So as a result, we don't have all the measurements of all these, but we know that we're going to make it work. And it's probably important to note that we did ask the curatorial committee to choose the artwork for this particular site from the breadth of artwork that was taken out of the Shore North itself, so that it's coming back into the neighborhood that it was created in.
And those are the pieces. You see less pieces here than 16, because some of these images, as you can see, this one is 3 boards, 3 4x8 boards that make up one mural.
Can you give me some sense of scale here?
4x8. So these boards here are 4x8. So this would be a 12x8 mural feet.
Thanks.
Similar, I think this one is also 3, so this is another 12x8. This one looks like 4 boards, so 16x8. 2.5. As Emily noted earlier, some of them are not exactly 4x8 size. And thank you, Caitlin and Betsy, for being willing to make that work in your design.
So where is this section going to be? Is it in the parking lot or along the street?
It would be in the right of way, so in between the parking lot and the street.
Okay.
And if you remember correctly, kind of that sidewalk piece that's new in Phase 3 streetscape is larger than in the majority of the sidewalk. We used to have plants and landscaping there, and that came out in the streetscape. Thanks, Nolan. So you can kind of see it's a little bit bigger of a space, and it allows for this installation.
That's where the couch used to be, right?
Yes.
Huh.
Yes.
Yes.
So did you go through public service or any other place to make sure that the spacing was adequate for pedestrians?
Yep. So we've kind of been having conversations ever since with Phase 3 of the streetscape, just because that is a big space. So we wanted to talk to you. We have Victorian Village Commission, and we're going to go right away, and Jerry Reiser similarly.
Okay.
Hi, this is Mary. Can you go back to the drawing? Great. Just wanted to see how deep it was. Thank you.
Also, this is Marine. Just curious about the kinds of promo and publicity that you've planned around this. You talked about QR codes. Will there be any other kind of, online events or other sorts of launch events or other ways that identify this particular project?
Yeah,
and,
we're
contextualize it. Yep.
So we're planning signage for each of the sites. So there'll be little flag signs with QR code on all of the mural cubes. Here and at Easton, there'll be large format signs, and we are adapting the page that we have on the GCAC site to contain more information than we can fit on the signs. So people will have a place to go to see who the artists are at each site, and what the locations are, and find out more information about both our United C Bus, how it got started, and Deliver Black Dreams, We will plan a social campaign around these once they get installed. So we'll be sharing this on social media, and our partners will be as well. All of the venues have committed to help getting that message out. And then when we're, for the big mural, we hope to have a press event once it's completed, and all of that good stuff.
That's terrific. Thank you.
And we're hoping that we can keep these up, weather permitting, through Martin Luther King Day. So it's a shorter time frame because we don't want them to live outside through the entire winter, but we are sealing all of the boards inside and out before we install.
Using the recommended product polyacrylic, which is a similar marine coating for the plywood boards.
Okay, so if they're vandalized, you'll be able to reclaim them?
The polyacrylic helps. You can power wash, spray paint off easier. And that's happened with some of the murals at the Huntington and things. They sealed all of theirs right out of the get-go, but that is the goal of the polyacrylic, is to help protect the paintings from any potential tampering.
Great, thank you. And then structurally, is there a roof on this to provide further stability to it, or is it an open center?
It would be an open at the top, and then sealed on the sides.
Okay.
For all of the rest of the cubes and the one at Coleman's Point, there will be a top on it.
Okay.
We're putting tops on all of the cubes that we're doing in other locations.
Would you have some weep holes or anything in there to keep it from filling up with water and snow?
Yes, it won't be completely sealed, but on either side. So yes, we can work through that.
Is there any plan to rotate this mural?
Our hope is that we can do a phase 2 of these in the spring. We really sort of need to see what kind of condition the murals end up in after this first phase. But the goal is that we have many more venues who have reached out to us who are interested in exhibiting these, and that we will be able to take them back, recurate them, and possibly, ideally, hopefully focus on educational institutions next time. Columbus City schools, libraries, colleges have reached out. So that's still in the sort of the discussion phase. But yes, we do hope to rotate them for at least one more tour of the community.
But not rotating the images in this actual location. No.
They'll stay. What we're picking and putting out to this time, they'll stay there until mid-January. Down.
Mm-hmm. May I ask a question for clarification? The mural is supposed to come down on MLK, around MLK Day, not next November?
The temporary murals that we're putting up will come down just after MLK Day. All of the sites, all 9 sites that we're working with.
Okay.
When you talk about the big mural, are you talking about April tsunamis, and are we talking about that today?
No, we're talking about the big mural is the last item on the agenda. I haven't really started filling in any information on that yet. That's the one that Lisa designed.
Okay. And there's also, I was reading the press release, and there's something about artists being mentored. Could you talk a little bit more about that?
That's going to be Lisa and us, but we've got the idea basically for the permanent murals that we're working on. The goal is to employ artists in this first mural that can then be lead artists in the future. We have a number of schools who have reached out to us with young people who want to participate, and then also bringing in other artists from around the community who may want an opportunity to work on a large scale mural and haven't had that yet. So Lisa, is there anything you want to add to that?
Only that my personal intention is to help guide many artists through the process of proposing. So me being a lead artist here is kind of demoing what we would want other artists to be able to do. So the next mural that's presented will be a different lead artist and so on.
Okay. Does anyone else have any questions for, I guess Emily's on her way, but Lisa or Jamie? Okay, Lori?
Would someone like to make a motion for the approval of the design and placement of the mural boards in the right-of-way along North High Street in front of the Greenwood parking lot as provided in the submitted materials per Columbus Code Chapter 3115.04C?
This is Marine. I'm happy to make that.
I'll second.
I'll second.
Okay. Many seconds.
We have to take a roll call. So I will call you Chip,
Aye.
Eliza,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Matthew.
Aye.
Lisa, I have to have you abstain. And Marine. And you just said yes. Okay, and I'm saying yes. So, all right. Did you get that, Lori?
I did, thank you. So we can move on to the Coleman Point application.
I just want
Okay.
to say I hope those boards come to Whetstone, to the library, in the front lawn. Oh, it would be so fantastic there.
Good point.
So I'm not quite as familiar with these documents. We want to do 2 8x8 cubes, mural cubes on Coleman's Point. That's what is indicated here in the application. I think, Nolan, there's a site map or a picture of Coleman's Point itself. Now we're into the next ones. Let me see if I can find that document. Maybe I don't see it. Well, I'm sorry, we don't have an image of the site itself. Let me describe to you, it's along Center Drive, about halfway between Broad and Town Street. And if I pull up, I don't know if
There you go.
Yeah, okay, super. Yep, there we go. So that is where we intend to install the cubes on Coleman's Point.
Which side of the river?
This is on the east side of the river.
Aye.
So the arc is facing Cosi, is that right?
The arc is facing Cosi. That's correct. The grass leads down to the river, and this backs the Civic Center. Just after Civic Center, this is the Supreme Court building. Is right across from Coleman's Point.
How do people get there? Is that an accessible area?
Oh yeah. So what you see on the right side of the image, those are all sidewalks along Civic Center. That's where the little fountains and the swings are.
Okay.
It's a very nice walking path with connections at all of the bridge points down to the bike path.
Got it. And what's going to be there?
So we're going to do 2 mural cubes. So like you saw in the Short North, except they're just 8x8 cubes. So Nolan, if you wouldn't mind going to the art that has been selected for these 2 cubes. There we go. Again, sorry, sideways. This is the first image for Coleman's Point.
And the artist, can you describe that person?
I'm sorry, I don't have the artist names attached to these. There's some of these that were not signed, where we have been able to connect artist names to each of the murals. We have done that, and those will be listed on the website.
So you have some of these pieces that aren't identified?
They were signed.
But you've identified.
In most cases, we have identified the artist where we can, and in some cases we were not able to identify the artist.
To clarify, my understanding is we're using boards of all artists that we have identified that we've gotten approval or permission to use or reuse.
That's correct. Sorry.
There are some boards where we know the artists, but we haven't heard back from them for permission. And to me, it's more that the artist made the work in the moment and they left that art there. That was part of their letting go process, is how I'm translating what's happening. So to be reusing them is part of the protest effort.
Well, I mean, I'm speaking for myself, and I'm going to err on the side of caution, but I do think that you should be, really consider not putting anything up if you have not talked to the artist, whether they've left it there for use or not.
Yep, I understand, Diane. I'll clarify again that I believe everything that you're seeing here, there are artist names attached to them. The ones we don't have permission weren't included in our curation process. I'll check that to be sure, but I'm certain that these are all, we know the artist.
Thank you.
Lisa and Jamie, do you know where these boards are from, which businesses they were taken from? Was that?
Because we had to choose quickly, we ended up choosing from the surplus of boards that were in the Short North area.
Okay.
Because that had the most images and we only needed 60, it was like 120 images and we only needed 16. So we quickly pulled for Coleman's Point from that area. So this is all Short North approved artwork. Future areas will have work from downtown, the GCAC building, the Ohio Theater Block, Huntington building. There's a mix of Veritas. There's a street on, there's a section on Gay Street, Brioso, where some boards are all going to be.
And up on campus, Gateway.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Gateway as well. But what you're looking at today is all from Short North.
And these are expected to stay up a year from November to November?
Nope. All of the temporary installations will be taken down after MLK Day.
Okay. There's a correction then in the application.
I've made a note of that.
Thank you.
I'm sad you can't see these monochromatic ones. They're really great boards. I don't understand why they got cropped, but.
This is Mary. I just have out of curiosity, where are the original boards being stored?
We have like 4 different locations.
Okay.
Some are being stored in the Short North. Some are being stored over by 400 West Rich in a warehouse.
Great. Oh, I'm so glad you have so many of them.
Mm-hmm.
So your expectation is that there will be 4 on each cube?
Each side is 8 by 8. So two 4x8s on each side of the cube.
Okay.
Is there any specific reason why it comes down on MLK Day?
We were concerned about the weather throughout the entire winter. January and February and sometimes March are sometimes the harshest months, and we really wanted to make sure that we could keep these in enough shape for another round at other venues around the city.
Any other questions?
This is Marine, adds that it's a powerful notion to be able to exhibit these around the city, especially at other venues, where they may not have been able to see these billboards. And, I'm excited for that iteration.
Thanks, Marine. We're excited too. Sean's not excited about installing them, but he's getting used to the idea.
Just to second Marine, so many people did not have the opportunity for whatever reason to go downtown. So it is incredible that they're going to be shared in other communities. Thank you.
Agreed. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. If there aren't any other questions, may I have a
Would you
motion?
like me to read the motion?
Yeah.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion for the final approval of the design and placement of the 2 mural cubes to be placed at Coleman's Point, located on the Scioto Mile, as submitted in the materials per the Columbus Art Commission, Chapter 3115.04B.
I'll move.
I'm happy. Yeah, I'm happy to make the motion. Marine.
Happy to second.
All right. Go through the roll again. Chip,
Aye.
Eliza,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Matthew,
Hi.
Lisa, Stain, Marine,
Aye.
and me, yes. Okay. Number 2 is done.
Okay.
You know, I do have kind of a question going back. I'm still trying to comprehend how the mentoring, maybe it was just a word in the press release that just caught my eye, but if pieces on Coleman Point are already created, then how is mentoring to happen?
The mentoring is specifically for the permanent murals. It's not related to the temporary installations. This is just, the temporary installations are really just an assembly project.
Okay.
For us. So yeah,
Okay.
sorry that wasn't clear, but the mentoring relates specifically to the permanent murals that will be created this fall and into next year.
Okay, thank you.
So this is the Deliver Black Dreams permanent mural on the retaining wall on 5th. We're asking for design and placement approval here. We see this as a permanent piece that will last up to 5 years. We have made plans for maintenance as well as sealing and protection through the recommended anti-graffiti coat. There are data sheets in each of the in the box that you received of materials for all of the products. Sherwin-Williams has come on as an in-kind sponsor and is giving us a tremendous deal on paint and all of our products as well as supplies, which is great. And we're in the process of also now reaching out to neighborhood entities around their businesses around there to let them know this is coming, and hopefully engaging them in the future. Many of them have worked with 934 Gallery and their 934 Fest before, because it's right around the corner from those folks. So the folks we've talked to so far have been really excited. And I think so. This is the art. And this is the wall. This is Lisa's art. Do you want to talk about this, Lisa?
Sure. This was inspired by Marshall's campaign, obviously. And this being the first mural, we thought it would be really great to lead with that powerful statement, Deliver Black Dreams. The logo incorporates the fist as nod to protest and power and pride. So I just thought we would do a multitude of fists as a crowd of multiple colors moving forward to deliver the message. So that's really the impetus for this design. I wanted to keep it simple and graphic and colorful because I know weather's chancy, and something easy to produce was important, especially for this large wall. It's one of the largest we have on dock. And I actually, my composition does not cover the whole wall. I think I'm ultimately about 5,000 or less square feet total. The right-hand side of the mural is 16 feet tall, and the starting left-hand side is about 8 foot tall. So it wedges out pretty high.
And this color palette that Lisa came up with is really beautiful and will probably be a guiding color palette for the murals as we go forward. So there'll be some cohesiveness, and as well as our signage and everything that we're doing. We're going to use this to help guide us.
Yes, and I'm going to say here about the mentor side of things. When I was first invited to take part in this project, thanks to Jamie, and I ended up falling under the umbrella of Maroon Arts Group, just to keep the, I'm so sorry, someone else is trying to call me. Stop that right now. Bear with me. I'm going to talk louder. Ultimately, we want to build community. We want to underline how important it is to build community. So the goal is to have our lead artists of color, Black people, come up with the concepts. And then we want to lead them in a way where we have some supporting artists come and help paint sections of it. And behind that would be students and volunteers that all work together to produce them. So we would have people doing running, carrying paint, actually doing the rollering. The mentor part of this is to have the students and early painters learn what it is to, from quoting a job, presenting it and getting it approved, to actually producing the artwork. There's the whole estimating process, how much paint to get, how many supplies do we need for a crowd of people. There's so many details, and I'm really hoping that this mentorship effort helps more people grow and we can have more variety of artists submitting work for these types of projects. Does anybody have any questions?
Nolan, could you show the photos that you have of the actual location to give the commissioners a better idea of where it's going to be? Thank you.
Yeah, that is from across the street, which is Perry Street. And so you're seeing where that truck is, just past the nose of that truck is roughly where the mural will start.
And it will go back to the railroad, close to the railroad?
Almost to the railroad track, not quite, but almost.
Okay.
And that's, so Sean is about 6 foot. he's standing there at around the 16-foot portion of the wall. And yeah, there's a good example of where it is.
So it's in Milo Grogan.
Oh,
And
okay.
There it is. Oh, that's a good.
it's the other side of the
great
road,
idea.
actually,
Oh,
Rebellion
okay.
Village.
I see.
Okay, so
Yep.
Yeah, I made the design in a way where the fists kind of bring in the design so we can use the concrete. We don't have to feel obligated to paint all of it. Because again, it's a lot of area and I wasn't sure we needed to paint that wedge that's like 2 or 3 feet tall.
Mm-hmm. What is the existing condition of the wall?
It's really great shape.
It's in really good shape. It currently has a coating on it that the city has agreed to, which we cannot apply paint to. The city has agreed to sandblast that coating off. Thank you, Randy and everyone. We will then prime the entire site, the entire stretch, with a concrete primer in the color of iron ore to serve as the solid base coat. And then we have a resilient latex exterior satin finish for the colors. And then there is an anti-graffiti coat that will go on after the mural is completed, as soon as it's dry, to protect it and enable power washing if it should get tampered with.
Yeah, it's a large undertaking, but the goal is to get it done, I think, within 3-4 days, Jamie?
Yep. Not counting the city's sandblasting, but
right.
we're going to go out with sprayers to do the primer, and then as soon as that dries, hopefully, given you all of yours approval, hopefully today we would be, and weather allowing, we'll be painting by next weekend.
Next weekend. So are you planning to use a grid system or like a projection?
I think I have to do a grid because there's no way to project onto that sort of wall. I was debating on making some templates of the fists in the different sizes because I could do at least that. I estimated the wall coverage, so I have a good idea of the height and I can get the size of all of those images. So if I do that, then the grid will be really easy to do, and then I can just lay that part of the fist, trace that, and then be on to the next thing. Because we have 3 sizes we used.
Oh.
Yeah. As the lead artist, I'm going to be the one drawing in the outline. I'm thinking I'm probably going to do it with a spray can because a little white pencil is not going to do it on this wall. Textured wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was up last night thinking about how I was going to like lay this pattern down, but it's going to happen and it's going to be fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
My question
That's
is, can I help?
Yes.
Wow. That's awesome.
That sounds like
Yeah.
a really fun project.
Yeah. Yes, and we have 5 more of these waiting in the wings, so there'll be plenty of opportunity to get involved.
Nice.
Yeah.
So Lisa, who is going to help you paint? I'm sorry, I might have missed that.
Our starting group we've tapped some artists. I'm hoping that we can get some of the younger artists to come and I can work with them and have other lead artists. My original idea was that we were going to work with some other artists like April Tsunami and get her to come and paint the inside of the letters. But we couldn't move as quickly to get quotes on what that looks like. So I'm shifting how that part is happening. And I want to have some younger artists to come help paint. And the MAG group wants to paint. And then I want to welcome other community members such as yourselves to come paint.
You know, I was thinking about OSU scenic design students who, you know, do mural work and
next
working
year
on that scale.
Yeah, next year we're going to have a really huge one in the spring, and then there will be others spread out. So, and I'll be the one coordinating with students to make that happen. So I'm definitely interested in.
Sure, I'll talk to you about it.
Okay,
Yep.
Thank you.
And Fort Hayes has a big project that they're working on that's going to be in the spring, and they're very interested in sort of lending their students to this effort, particularly in the spring, and having them learn as they go through this as well.
As well as Mindy Staley and Duart students over at Eastmore? That's Eastmore, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and I have a friend at Westerville, artist teacher friends at Westerville that I think would also want to be involved. So we have the mass of people. We just need to get the lead artists to propose their designs and then really figure out a way to build this mentorship program.
Very cool.
Have you guys talked to any neighboring businesses that I was just thinking about some logistics, you know, so you might need to use bathroom and you need the water supply, you know, around the area. I'm just wondering if you talk to, you know, the businesses around the
I have started to reach out to businesses. I talked to to Fifth Avenue Lumber today, and there's a whole host of businesses around here. So I just really sort of began that process this week. But thank you for thinking of us, particularly as it relates to bathrooms.
I know.
We appreciate that. We're definitely planning to have masks on hand for all of the artists and plenty of water, a couple tables set up for people who might come by and want to know more information about it. We'll be on site the entire time the artists are painting. We will be there in support of them, making sure they have snacks and everything that they need.
Yeah. I would love to stop by while you guys paint. It's going to be fun.
Thanks. We'd love to have you. We'll invite people to come down once we can home in on a date. We'll be getting information out because there's so many people who have just expressed tremendous support for this idea of Deliver Black Dreams, and then also a concerted effort to get some major new murals around the community. Okay. Lori?
Okay, so I'd like to make a motion for approval of the design and placement of the Deliver Black Dreams mural on the section of retaining wall on East Fifth Avenue as shown in the application materials submitted by the applicant.
I so move.
Have a second?
I will second.
Okay. I'll call the roll. Any other questions before I move forward? Okay. Chip.
Aye.
Eliza.
Aye.
Mary.
Aye.
Matt.
Hi.
Marine.
Aye.
And myself, yes. And Lisa abstain. Nice project, you guys. Thank you for being here.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Support and help.
Yes, thank you.
Everybody. Thanks, Jamie. Hi, Randy.
All right, guys, thanks so much.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Wow. Smaller meeting.
Yeah.
All right, thanks. So Lori, you want to lead us through other business?
Yeah, we don't have any preliminary project discussions. I don't have any public submissions. Staff reports, the Christopher Columbus Relocation Committee, just a quick update. We've just about got the committee seats filled on, for that. And participating on the committee are Diane, Eliza, and Marine. As soon as we have the last person seated, I'll be sending out emails to the committee and then copying commissioners just so that you know what's going on. The plan is to try and hold the first meeting this year in November if we can, or the very beginning of December if November doesn't work out, but to have one meeting, basically an introductory meeting. Diane will be chairing the committee as the lead from the Art Commission. And, I think that hopefully within the next week, the commission should be fully seated.
Did we lose Lisa? Did she leave altogether? I think she.
Yeah,
Oh.
she must have signed off.
Okay.
She has to take her niece somewhere, pick somebody up.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, could be. Do you have any questions for me?
Yeah. Does anybody have any questions about that?
Lori, in terms of last person you're trying to seat on this group, where are you drawing from the commission itself, or are you looking for outside members?
Outside member. We have 3 commissioners, so that's on a 12-member committee. So that's probably good. Just generally, we have representation from the mayor's office, from council, from Sister Cities International, from the Piave Club, an Italian American organization, and the Italian American Society.
I was thinking, I just learned about a project at Ohio State through the Department of Italian and French, digging a little bit deeper into these histories between Columbus and American Italians. Dana Renga, who's the chair of that department, is heavily involved in that.
That sounds great, and I think maybe I can follow up with you and with them a little bit. I don't know exactly yet, but what I foresee. Oh, Dory Newhouse-Sauer is also on the committee from Landmarks. There might be a portion of the committee meetings that will be informational to share various viewpoints. Oh, golly. Diane, help me. I'm sorry, I'm just drawing a blank. I missed a committee member.
Kathy Rancière.
Thank you. So I think that would be really good to follow up on, and they probably have something to add. At least the committee will have to, one of the proposals to the committee is that certainly talking about location, a new location for the piece, whatever the site characteristics need to be for that new location, and then the interpretive content that should be included wherever this piece goes next. And that's going to be a really big part of this, I think, from all the different viewpoints, so that there's just a kind of total 360 view of Christopher Columbus, Italian American experience, Native American experience, City of Columbus, our name is Columbus. So there's just a lot to kind of explore, I think, and unpack to associate with a new location for this piece. Any other questions or thoughts on the relocation committee? Okay. the Columbus Crystals project for the Short North, it's chugging along. The piece is going to fabrication now, so that's very exciting. We're still dealing with some of the underground hurdles. Mark Riggleman was able to have some work done, so he located that nefarious 150-year-old brick sewer that no one had an exact record of its location, so we have that now. But they need to do some engineering just to make sure that there's no undue pressure from the foundation of the new artwork that, might compromise the sewer. Sewer and drains, they've been really very, very helpful with us in this project, the Department of Sewer and Drains. They're going to line the sewer so that it will have the same strength as a concrete sewer, just to make sure that it's that much more stable with the piece going in next to it. It's a really interesting process. It wasn't scheduled to happen because it's in fairly good condition for a brick sewer, but given the additional pressure that may be put on it with the foundation for the piece, they decided that they would just move it up and they would just line it. And that will probably happen sometime between here and the end of the year. So that's making good headway.
Good. We still have the artist. Poor guy.
Oh no.
Well, it's outdoor art, it's public art, and it's, I don't know. I'm not going to explain it, but it's just the hoops that we have to go through. Everything was put underground, for that High Street project.
Yeah.
But somehow the sewer wasn't located, so I don't know. So that's it for me, unless there's something else that you want to ask about.
I have a question. So the elusive development director that was going to talk with us, maybe today, maybe last month, what's going on with that?
I imagine what he's doing is firming some things up with the administration on, looking at what the commission has proposed for moving forward. And as soon as he has that together, he will be meeting with the commission, even if we need to hold a special meeting, just for us to go over those things. The budget has been, and the stress on the budget, given the COVID situation with the pandemic, has really taken the priority of just about everything going on within the department. So he wasn't able to be here, but it will happen, not certainly at the speed I think everyone hopes it will, but it will happen, Chip.
And that includes the city symbols.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
It's everything, right, that we were working on?
Yep. All of the what we requested for the review of the city's art collection, the city symbols piece, the new art piece, and we've just gotten a little bit, I think, ahead with the Christopher Columbus relocation, because that's something we can start without it needing any additional funding from the city.
Got it.
Okay.
And I think that's really great. I'm afraid to get to a space where we're losing steam. We made so much headway early on. And I believe it's really good to keep that momentum going. So, yeah.
I'm glad everyone is safe. Clearly, the commission has escaped COVID, so that's fabulous.
True.
So far.
Like, knock on wood.
Yeah.
I know.
All right. I wish we could talk to each other longer about other interesting things, but I think that's, unless people bring us projects, that's really what we're waiting on are these three pieces to what we've been told to do. So,
Yep.
Lori, may I ask you a question?
Sure.
I know with the state, every agency had to take a fairly significant budget reduction. Have you, with the city, are you facing similar monetary obstacles?
Yes.
Has any numbers been announced or any percentages been announced?
There's been some things in the news, but in terms of final figures, in terms of how that's going to affect whether or not the cities, I think the capital budget, upcoming capital budget expenditures, those definitely are being looked at for reductions. I don't know if they're looking at reducing general fund budgets yet, but I know that we're cutting back on things like sort of non-essentials, any subscriptions, memberships, that sort of thing. They're, evaluating projects to see if they really need to go forward or if they can wait. The city does have a healthy rainy day fund, but COVID is such an unknown that I think that they're trying to shore things up, which is what's occupying the director's time right now. We, the development department is quite large in that we have code enforcement, economic development, housing, planning division. It's a fairly diverse department. So, I believe he's been really busy trying to, excuse me, work with the different administrators to figure out how they can cut back without affecting the duties of these various divisions within the department. But thank you for asking that. It's just a factor we all have to deal with.
Yep. Thank you.
I have a question that's totally random and possibly a little testy, but Corey, would you be responsible for getting back to GCAC and asking them to apply early enough so that you can get them on the schedule on a regular amount of time so that you can prepare?
Yeah, I mean, again, I take responsibility for this. I've always allowed people more time because usually I can get it done. This was just a little more than what I expected, and I also had a lot of issues with remote desktop and just anything that could go wrong went wrong. So I apologize for getting the information to you so late. Yeah, I will do what I can. I mean, I've always felt that because we haven't had the volume that some of the other commissions have, that it gave us a little bit more time to try and put these applications on and support folks and artists with this. But yeah, and I gave them the ability to do it, so I take responsibility.
I totally forgot. Are they paying any of the artists anything for participating in this?
The materials for Lisa's wall, they are paying. I think it said that she was getting $3,000 and the artist assistants were each getting $1,000, but no, they're not paying the artists for the mural boards that went up during the protests, the Black Lives Matter murals.
Those were all voluntary expressions, as far as I know. So
It's true. Okay. I'm not angry or pissy. I just.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
GCAC's pretty good about paying artists for their work.
Yeah.
It was really good. So
those are decent amounts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anybody else? I hate to say goodbye, but if that's it.
See ya.
Okay.
See you guys again soon.
Thank you, guys.
Hey,
Bye.
Chip, can I ask you? Are you on
What?
Denison?
I'm sorry?
Is your home on Denison?
Me?
I'm on Hubbard between Denison and Neal.
Okay. I saw you walking recently.